starting the stream now.
We're here. Arsenal. They've done it again. Oh God. What?
Never
don't know
fail
what to
to
say.
disappoint.
I don't know what to say. We're gonna play our intro, even though they don't deserve it, and we're gonna get into this. Yes, people. It's the match reaction. Newcastle 2, Arsenal 0. Top 4 is done. Europa League, here we come. Ah, mate. Lex, how you keeping?
You know what? It's gone from being vexed to just it's got zero emotions. Absolute zero emotions. Today I thought we was playing City away or something. The way that we made Newcastle look, I mean, like there was nothing. Like the players today, there was no fight. There was nothing. I just don't understand it. I thought it was Newcastle that was challenging for top four. Like there was literally just, you know what? You just have to have banter with it because honestly, this is just it's a joke. I just think that Arteta's reached the ceiling with that team. I'm looking at this, and I've said it in the last couple of streams. United has had its worst season, right? And Tottenham have had a bad season. It's like it kind of reminds me a little bit of when we were challenging for the title against Leicester,
Yeah.
and we bottled it. These chances don't come around often, and the fact that we are considered that we have overachieved and we've still failed, I'm telling you, listen, next season, again, it's not, we won't even be as close. He's reached the ceiling with that team. I'll tell you that.
Lex's head's gone. I don't know what to say. And I agree with what you said about Newcastle looking like City. We didn't even get started. Um,
No.
we looked nervous. We played within ourselves. Yeah, Ramsdale kicking today horrendous, and that sets you on the back foot straight away. We looked like we didn't know how to get through it. And what I keep saying about threats sometimes and players that I would want to look for, like say I've been a huge admirer of Saint Maxim since he's come to the Prem. I think it would be impossible to get him out of Newcastle now, but him, that's why I call Saha. Them man are threats, and I'm watching it, and I'm watching us press, and I'm saying we can't implement a press because we're so
No.
scared of Saint Maxim. The gaps between defense and strikers was huge today.
We'll
And
get over one in midfield.
yeah, but again, this is where your leadership comes in because if the back line's that scared of St. Max and Almiron, which they're gonna be, like them man are athletes, they're fast, they're tricky, so they're gonna drop. Fine. Midfield, you got to drop. Strikers, you got to drop. You got to come in and get to the halfway line. We're pressed from there. But
Yeah.
I've got my attacking players are pressing high, but then it's just one pass in the midfield. I felt for El. I don't think El Nene and Xhaka played well, but equally the gaps were so big between our team. It was so easy for Newcastle to play through, and this is where the leadership at like wherever it's got to come from has to talk through that because it was just. I said I can't even blame anybody, but as a collective, we looked all at sea today, and Newcastle had their way and thoroughly deserved the 2-0 win. Like it could have been more, should have been more. To
Yeah.
be fair, and yeah, it hurts. It hurts. It's gonna hurt for a while. This one, a bit like when Unai Emery just missed out. And then we obviously lost the Europa League final. It's
But
very
I feel
similar.
like this one is slightly different. I didn't have that same feeling. I'm sure most fans didn't have that same feeling where it's obviously when we went those 3 losses on a bounce, and we managed to claw ourselves back in.
Yeah.
And even though when we were going to play against Tottenham, we knew we had that 4 points, we knew we had that little breathing space, and it was still in our hands.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, today's game, one thing I've noticed, like for example, like Odegaard, I feel in these games like this, if he ain't got the protection like he had with Partey, and someone, he, I feel like he just gets overrun. He looks like a
You know,
headless chicken sometimes.
I'm glad you called him out because I think he's not giving
Yeah,
me enough. He's not giving me enough at the moment. And it's been like that for a few games. Don't get me wrong, he's works better when players are giving him the balls in certain areas,
when he's
but
got
equally,
space and when he's playing at home and he's playing against lower
yeah,
sides,
sources,
he
yeah,
he
yeah,
looks amazing. He
yeah,
looks like, wow, yeah, we got the new Ozil. But games like this,
and he's had a few too many of these. Again,
yeah,
it's that even at one stage I'm looking at my team and I'm saying I need someone who's just going to drive and carry the ball up the pitch, like just get us out a bit. The, like we weren't winning first balls, we weren't winning second balls. Like it, I haven't seen nothing like it. But
listen, I know it's a young side, but where was the fight? There was how many times where I've seen the ball was looking like it's a 50-50, and we're pulling out.
yeah, yeah, it's like
We're
yeah, we were
pulling
so
out,
scared of making a mistake. It's
yeah, a couple of yards before you even get to the ball.
mm,
And I'm thinking, like, what's going on? We're looking like the ones that we got nothing to play for.
yeah, it was bad. And all I can say is it looks like the curse of Granit Xhaka is going to continue for another season because it's like since this man's come to the club, we ain't seen Champions League football. He played it 1 year when he first joined, he was in the Champions League, and since then we ain't been able to secure a top four space. And
But you
he's
know,
not
the
calling
funny
that
thing
one man.
is, yes,
Yes,
can.
yes,
But the
yes.
but the funny thing, Gomza, I can't even blame Jacka. In
Nah,
his last couple of
no.
games, I can't even blame Jacka. It's kind of been the opposite. He's
It,
helped to get in the situation. But
yeah,
you know
do you
who
know
I
what?
think is cursed? I think Tavares is cursed.
Well, I don't think he was
Because
bad today again,
no, he didn't have a bad game,
but he makes a
but
mistake
his
and it's
far
costly.
throw led to their first
Goal,
goal.
yeah.
And I
And,
feel like everything is just it's just something about him that leads to us conceding
yeah, and again,
always.
we shouldn't concede from that. Like even El Nene, he's tracked the man and then he stops, and that's it. It just gives Joe Linton the 2 yards he needs of space to get. Do you know what I mean? Like if you watch it, El Nene's gone with him because again, Cedric. People are probably going to call Cedric, but he's gone with Saint Maxim, which he's got to do. You can't allow Saint
No,
Maxim
but
the space.
I kind
And
of
Joe
blame
Linton,
Cedric a little bit more in that situation
I
because
don't.
you can't push up that much
Nah,
to leave
but
that gap.
for me, he's done the right because again, you leave Saint Maxim with that 10 yards of space on you to turn and get at you, you're getting killed. So he's gone with, and El Nene's followed Joe Linton. He's followed him, and then he stops. Joe Linton peels off, and it's one pass through, and he's gone. And yeah, again, midfielders, you aren't to fill in there. If your wing backs had to go, and
Yeah, but
you've
the
got to
thing
follow your
is,
man. And even if you watch did you watch the
yeah,
second
but
goal back?
If Cedric doesn't push up as much, there isn't that space for Joel Linton to run into.
So, brother, I hear
You
that,
know what I'm
but
saying?
equally,
He needs
but
to go half and half. In that sense, the ball's in their half. The pressure is not on. You need
yeah,
to go half and half. You've
I do
pushed
hear
it too
you.
much.
I do hear you. I do hear you. But I think again and again, this is the threat of having that danger man because all Cedric's thinking is Saint Maxim, Saint Maxim. So, and that is why that's why I call for Wilfred Saha because he strikes fears in defenders, which makes you make a bad decision sometimes. I'll guarantee another 15 games Cedric plays, he probably don't play someone like Saint Maxim. He doesn't make that move to close that space down early. But because in the back of his head, all he's thinking is, I can't let this man run at me. He's now made a bad decision, and that's why you need them threats. And I watch Arsenal, and teams
Yeah, but
aren't
it's the
scared of
same
us.
thing.
Like,
We haven't learned against Son when there was times where holding just go just drop just like I know what you're saying, but at the same time you got to in that situation you got to assess it and see. Look, you're leaving the gap there. You've got to intercept that ball.
yeah, I
If
think
you don't intercept that ball, you could. That's it. It could be dangerous. And
what's scary for
obviously
me
that's
though
what
is
happened.
the lack of pressure in areas. There's just no pressure on the ball. Like we've gone to that back to that stage where we're not pressing to win the ball. We're just pressing to close down a bit of space. Like it's just so we were so open to it. As I said, the strikers and the defenders were a million miles apart. It was like watching Man United, in all honesty, where the gaps were just too big, and you can't defend like that because the midfield's
Yeah.
just got too much space to try and cover.
Mm.
Like you have to be compact as a unit. We all know as like growing up to little kids, when you've got possession, make the pitch as big as you can. When you don't have possession, get in as tight as you can and make the pitch as small as you can and stop. Do you know what I mean? Stop space. And today we just, again, it was so easy. I'm watching Newcastle pass the ball under no pressure, and players are just picking it up in 10 yards of space, turning, and just I'm just sitting there like, what is going on? Like we were all
Yeah.
over the place today. Like it was bad. Canners, I know you just jumped in, but I've got to get to some comments because they're flying off in here. So and then
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
gonna let
yeah,
you
yeah,
take it
yeah.
away. Big Dogs is here. Call me and other fans negative, but 6 to 10 losses and 13 losses all season is a disgrace. Arteta out. Europa League is not the
That is
standard
the
of this club.
same as last season. We had 13 losses last season. It's the
Yeah.
same.
I think what's telling for me, I looked at the table just now, and it's the amount of goals we conceded and the little amount we're scoring. It's and like yeah, we get onto this. Is it an Arteta or is it a player thing? We will get onto this. Um, Solo's here. How you keeping Solo? He's looking for Chris King. To be fair, I ain't seen Gunner in a while, boy. He's doing the right thing, but he's hiding. But no, I hope he's well. He's probably on TikTok somewhere doing this thing. Big Dogs, he feels like crying. Me too, bruv. Me too. And Solo, yeah, we've got to rate him. Give us a like and subscribe. I think earlier we was on 398 subscribers, so we're 2 away from 400. So yes, please, people, make sure you're liking and subscribing. Ellis is here. 50 minutes for Ben White. To be fair, I think Ben White was probably the only player that came out for a bit of respect today.
Yeah, I can't blame him for this.
He's. I think the last couple of games when he hasn't been there, I've realised how good he has been. And today, I think he scored the own goal, but again, that should be.
He
had
had
no
to
choice.
lunge
He had no
out there.
choice.
Yeah, he had no choice. He had to try and get back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't blame him for that. I mean, him and Gabriel weren't fit for this game.
And Gabriel, to be fair, he put a half decent shift in because he was under some pressure today.
Listen, it should be those two should have had a worse game than the rest of the players that's on the pitch because they're not as fit.
Yeah.
The other players have got no excuse.
Yeah.
The worst player for me, even worse than bloody Pepe, if that's possible, Smith Rowe. Absolutely.
Don't start. I was screaming to Martinelli to come on.
I was thinking, what's he been brought in to do? What's it?
Yeah.
Did he? So he's brought in to carry the ball to make the basically to hold on to the ball and stuff. But the thing is though, the whole team. Listen, I think the problem is that we got a problem with the depth of our squad. But do you know what? The thing is though, we've got no one to blame but ourselves, really. And I think you're right. I think the players have to take this one today. We should be good enough to beat Newcastle, that Newcastle team. The thing is though, if you don't do it, if you don't beat those kind of teams, and we're not just talking Newcastle, we're talking Southampton, your Brightons, your Crystal Palaces. Do you know what I mean? It's like they're the kind of games that we shouldn't be losing. So look, we said it in the preview before. This is a young team, and they're gonna have games like this, where you know what? If you can't win, you don't lose. Do you know what I'm saying? Start using dark arts kind of thing, or you stay in the game as long as possible, and something happens, and you might.
And to be fair, first half we did that. To be fair, like we wasn't playing well, and all I kept thinking is, just get to half time, please, and let's address it.
Let him rip into them, but there was nothing. But the thing is, though, it's like, do you know what? I think they're all knackered. They mentally and physically. Saka for the last 3 games, he's been poor. Odegaard as well.
He's really letting me down at the moment. Like I do think he's a good player. 30 million, we've done well, but again, this is where Arteta sometimes maybe have to be a bit more ruthless, because when it clicks between Saka and Odegaard, it works well. Again, like today, it wasn't working, and maybe it might have been Smith Rowe to play in the 10. I'm not saying Smith Rowe done anything of any note,
Oh, no,
but even that,
he was winding me up.
yeah,
You know,
but even that, maybe Lacazette starts this game. Do you know what I mean? Just sometimes we have to, but again, that's down to the depth problems. And again, let's get onto Arteta because he's going to get a lot of flack. I think there were
I
two
think
mistakes he made today.
Oh, the overriding one is him not starting with Martinelli. I didn't get that.
I don't understand that.
That's the big one.
And if anything, he has been the most informed player going forward for us. In the last few games. But listen,
but even with that, there's no excusing that before. If we come out drawing 0-0, we think we could have kept down with Martinelli for the first 60 minutes. He might have made a difference, fair enough. But even with Martinelli on it, yes, he makes a difference. But as a collective, we were so bad today.
Poor. No excuses.
Poor. Yeah. I think everyone. I can't
even say the ref this or the ref that or whatever. But it was just such a poor,
It was and the thing is, hunger.
Yeah, the worst one was when they brought up the caption when we go down away from home 6 times 60 feet, and it's like we don't come back. There's obviously something there. What it's a mentality thing that so needs someone to be able to dig in and rally the troops, so to speak.
But do you know what also frustrated the life out of me today? Like even when we did get in good areas, the crossing from Martinelli and them lot today was everything was just going off for goal kicks. I'm sitting there like, we're not the best in the air, but you're not even giving these guys a chance to even get on the end of anything. It was like, everything was just missing today. It really was. And again, I think maybe when the pressure's off, we've seen these boys perform. Again, against Chelsea United, it looked like top 4 was done for us at that stage. But when we was in pole position and the pressure was on, can we hold on to things? Again, we see it with the first 3 games after the international break. We've completely fell apart. Managed to get back, but the last 2 games, it's back to that mentality. And I think mentality is a big thing with this team. And I think that's something that needs addressing. Obviously, there's still a lot that needs addressing. The depth of the squad, the starting 11 needs addressing. There's a lot of work to be done. But again, you're looking at Newcastle, who, let's be honest, don't have better players than us. But as a collective, was a lot better than us today. Like a lot better.
They smelt blood. That's the thing. Newcastle smelt blood, and I have to give it to them. They obviously knew that we were fragile. That's the thing. They knew that after losing 3-0 away against Tottenham, that we're fragile, and we showed them. We were scared. When Ramsdale was miskicking the ball and everything, and things like we just wouldn't go for 50-50s.
Yeah,
we just didn't look like we wanted it. We just looked like we were waiting for someone to come and do something special. And in these situations, you just got to turn up. You got to, end of the day, you got 90 minutes, show what you're about. And Newcastle knew that. Hold on a minute, these guys. They ain't showing nothing. So I give it to them. Newcastle, it played into their hands. But I'm just looking at the bigger picture, and I'm a little bit worried because I'm just looking at this and thinking this summer is going to be equally as important as last summer. And at the same time, I'm just looking at it. I'll be honest, and I don't think Arsenal Arteta can get these players any further than what he's done.
No, I disagree with you there. I disagree. I think if he had better players, or better backup players. I mean, this is a game. The last couple of games, Thomas Partey, players like that would have been such a big help for us. The thing is, listen. Summer recruitment's going to be huge, right? And if you can get certain players, big, good players, most notably to play up top, I think we need someone. Obviously, well, we know we need probably a couple of good heads in midfield. Also, as well, I think we've got the Aaron Hickey, I believe, from Bologna,
the left back,
but he's both-footed as well. The thing is, listen, I don't.
Yeah, but the thing is,
I don't think it's as bad as it. As listen, I just want to put this one up. And this is true, right? Listen, Omondi, big up, bro. Big up the Armory. To be fair, you've been punching above your weight all season, and we have to be fair. If you had said you'd be going this last couple of games, fighting for top 4 at the start of the season, we would have laughed heads up, and we would have kind of laughed as well. The only reason why I think it's so much of a kind of like sting for us is because it was Tottenham.
Yeah, if that was we were going up against Chelsea or something like that.
No, seriously, we're supposed to be. When we did, all I'd say, Lex, right, is when we did our start of season predictions. Yeah, tell me where you think we was going to end up, and I guarantee you probably would have said 6th, 5th at a push.
I agree with you.
So we've done what we kind of like thought we was going to do, and listen,
at the same time, but we haven't. I feel like we haven't made much in his 3 seasons in the league. He hasn't made much progress.
I think he has.
And this season, we've had United's worst season. Tottenham's hasn't had a great season.
United have been shit for a couple of seasons. But don't get it twisted about the second place. The second place was an anomaly, right? That was an anomaly. Don't even look into that. United are where they're supposed to be. That
no, they're not where they're supposed to be.
Absolute disarray. If this guy doesn't hit the ground running, their new manager, and he doesn't get their team playing, he'll be out before Christmas himself. Listen, they've got a lot. I have no idea how much their money they're gonna spend in the summer, but they're gonna need a lot more than what we spent. Listen,
to be fair, I'm just looking at the numbers now. So obviously, last year we came 8th with 61 points. This year we're on 66 with 1 game to go. But if you now look, so it's only a 5-point improvement, but actually Chelsea got 4th last year on 67. So if, just say we do win the game on the weekend, that would take us to 69. So them points in the previous year would have got us top 4. So
there is an improvement.
And Liverpool ended the season last year on 69 points, which we can end up with this year. So all around, the teams, every team around has performed a little bit better because 69 points last year would have got you 3rd place, and 69 points this year might get us 5th. So, yeah, in terms of improvement, I know it's different ways of looking at it. Obviously, every team, it's different season, different teams in the league. But
I just don't know how much more he can improve it. That's
no, well, I think it's down to personnel, because again, not being critical of our players, I love Saka, I love Smith Rowe. But if you put St. Maxim on that left wing in that game, and even Callum Wilson up front. Now, Canners, I know me and you both said we like Callum Wilson from the start pre-season.
We was laughed at. He was laughed at.
Callum Wilson, I'm telling you, man, he's a proper player.
We're talking about Newcastle. No disrespect to them.
But even now, again, we had the conversation in the group the other day. Don't get me wrong, we love Martinelli, we love Saka, we love Smith Rowe. But when you put them on paper and you say Son, Kane, Kulusevski, or them 3, Son, Kane, Kulusevski is a more frightening front 3. Almiron, St. Maximin, and Callum Wilson on their day probably had a bit more about them than our front 3. Now, they might not have the end product, and that was kind of shown today because the amount of time St. Maximin beats his player and the cross maybe not right. Yeah. Almiron's the same, but actually it's that constant pressure, that persistence. Like, we couldn't breathe. It was every time they got the ball, they're at our throat. And Callum Wilson, that strike he hit from 40 yards or whatever, like, do you know what I mean? Now, not being disrespectful to Eddie Nketiah, he's a young boy, but I can't see Eddie Lacazette or having that in the locker.
I feel like we do this too much. We come up with excuses.
No, it's not an excuse. I'm saying
it's an excuse.
Better players, Eddie Nketiah's strengths is probably his nippiness and his pace. Callum Wilson's probably as fast as him, but Callum Wilson's probably 5 inches bigger and stronger.
We know that.
Here's what I'm saying. So as a collective, so if you're trying to implement a style with the strike force we've had, it could be difficult. Now, if you put Vlahovic in as your striker, Haaland as your striker, it changes the ball game. So again, I can see Callum Wilson.
That would change any team.
Look at the difference when a long ball went up earlier. And White and Gabriel looked at each other like, who's going to attack that? Like, and they let it bounce, and Callum Wilson just bullying two of them. And them kind of, you know what I mean? Them weapons you have. He might not score the same amount of goals as Abba did, or Nketiah might get more goals in his career than him because he might be a better finisher. But just being a handful, again, that is why the separation was so big, because them two wingers and Callum Wilson, from the first, Ben White got booked in 5 minutes because of a long ball over the top. So now, what is that telling my back for? We got to drop because if anything behind us, we're in problems.
We're in trouble.
Now
with
the
hamstrings
gap's now too big.
Yeah.
Right, the gaps are too big, and this is where the threats come in. Because again, we've all played football. For the first 5 minutes, if you've got fast striker and wingers, I'm saying to my boys that you ping it there, you put them in them corners and push them boys back. Because if they see our pace, they're going to take 10 steps back. That gives us more space to play football.
To play in.
And we just don't. I don't think we have them threats. And that's, don't get me wrong, we've got great players in Saka and them lot. But I don't think left backs come up against him and think I've got to drop back 10 yards because the ball in behind, he's going to kill me. Because he's not the quickest like that. The same as Martinelli is a bit quicker, but I don't think back fours come up against us and are really that frightened. Like when we play, again, look at our streams. We play Leeds or Rafinha. We've had to put Tomiyasu on the left. We play Tottenham and thinking, Jesus Christ, you got Son. Well, how are we going to deal with Son? Then you play Newcastle. We're scared of St. Maxim in the stream. You played Crystal Palace. We're worried about Wilfried Zaha. Like, I don't think many teams playing us are saying we're shit scared of Saka. Like do you know what I mean? They double up on him, but I don't think it's that same fear that we have when we play other people at the moment. And I think we could really do with a weapon up there who's just got to draw attention and draw. Do you know what I mean? Just be a handful for 90 minutes. I just don't think we have it. Like, as I said, Callum Wilson he put Ben White was on the booking after 5 minutes because of a header clearance. And he just had the pace and physicality to just ruffle Ben White, where Ben White's had to then foul him.
People laughed at me when I said I'd have him because he's better than what we've got.
Yeah,
he's better than what we've got.
He's the same as Ivan Toney. Them two there would be kind of maybe the striker I'd be looking for. Someone that could do a bit of both. Like,
he's horrible
as well.
He wouldn't want to play against him. He's horrible.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. But let's get on to Arteta. I know we kind of started talking about him. Where does he go from here? Like, this end of the season's kind of petering out a bit for him. He's got a big summer ahead.
Massive.
And for this game, how much blame do you put on him for this game? We've all agreed Martinelli should have started, and that's not even with hindsight of seeing how bad Smith Rowe was before the game started. I was like, oh, Martinelli. Do you know, when the team sheet come out, I looked at the back four and didn't look anywhere else because I thought it would be the same kind of six going forward as such. I don't think that would have changed. So, but substitutions, I was a bit confused with the Gabriel one coming off. I get we're chasing the game, but I didn't get putting Xhaka centre back and watching that second goal.
I reckon that was his hamstring.
Yeah, maybe. That second goal was diabolical. Like, first of all, the clearance, which was similar to a clearance he'd done the other week when we conceded the corner and they scored from. Can't remember who he was playing in that game. Was that the Leeds one? It was Leeds, weren't it?
Yeah, Leeds game.
He's half cleared it. So he'd done it again. He half cleared it to them. And then the ball's gone past him. He stood there and just watched it. And that's not even trying to blame him. And again, it's the same with Eddie and Nketiah. They're not natural defenders. You see Ben White's movement after the ball went through compared to everyone else's. Watch it back. Just watch it back and see where your centre back ended up on that goal. Like, and that's again about the mentality and wanting to and desire. Because I saw Ben White burst in his neck to try and clear the ball off the line. And
no, that's Cedric, wasn't it?
Is it Cedric?
Yeah,
one of the two. But I saw them two working, and I saw four of them who was in and around the ball when the football was happening, stood there, watched it all happen. So, yeah, my head was gone. Like, it is, yeah. But yeah, what do you think about that decision to take off Gabriel? Do you think it was the hamstring then playing up?
Me personally, I think it was a hamstring. I think it was just like, okay, he wants to go for it. What player to take off? Yeah, and I just thought, do you know what? He probably just thought his hamstring could go at any minute or whatever, any second. Just take him off. I just think my only thing is that Martinelli must have been carrying a knock. He's got to be, because I have no idea why. Yeah, I know it's hindsight, but
he didn't look like he was carrying a knock. I mean, Smith Rowe looked like he was the one carrying a knock.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that he came out in the second half, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was kind of like maybe as well playing Tavares. may have been better served playing, Mr. Silk, behave.
He's on a trolling thing today. Look, he said we missed Bellingham.
Behave. That's all I can say. He still doesn't think we could do with Richarlison, that type of player as well. It's like Mr. Silver Fox, mate. I wonder if you've ever played football, bro. Anyway, listen, I think Tavares as well might have been. He's saying we might agree on one thing here. Now, I wouldn't terminate his contract. However, what I will say is that I probably would have stuck with Tomiyasu and Cedric. I think again, you know what the thing is, as bad as it is, the goal came from a Tavares mistake.
That's what I was saying. It's like he's cursed. Like even when it's technically not on the pitch, he still makes a mistake that leads to a goal.
Yeah, and the foul throw is kind of one of those ones, isn't it? In Europe, you probably get away with it, but
even in the Prem, you see foul throws all the time that don't get pulled up. And I'm not saying
actually, one of their guys did a foul throw where his foot was up on the off the ground, and I was just like, okay.
Even for Arsenal, I see Arsenal do foul throws so often.
In
non-league, get pulled up so quick. But my issue is it's just the speed and how we recover. Like he's made the foul throw, but it's just no urgency. Even in the first half, I think there was 2 throw-ins Newcastle played over our heads, and Gabriel's had to come and bail us out. Like Xhaka, Tavares, just ball watching. Like there's one, Xhaka's arguing with the referee, and the man's just throwing it over his head, and Gabriel's going mental. And it's like they're not learning from the lessons. Like they're not learning from the mistakes. It happened earlier in the season.
I think that was a massive problem. I don't know. I think the players were scared.
It showed me a game where, again, I think like earlier in the season against Brighton, we called it out where it's like the players are scared to make a mistake.
Yeah.
And by doing that, you lose your identity and how you're meant to play football. So again,
they were so scared today.
Because you saw little things like everyone was putting their arms behind the back when they were doing crosses. Little things.
The thing is though, it's like they call anything handball now, so I get that. But then again, you know what the funny thing is? When they talk about it's not in a natural position. Hands behind your back is not a natural position.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah, I think they've always played with fear today. Really did. Obviously, they understand what was at stake, and I really feel they played. It did affect them. It did affect their performance, and we have seen these performances before from them. But yeah, it is what it is, I suppose. Big Dog is saying Tomiyasu does foul throws constantly. Yeah, so it is just unfortunate for us he got pulled up on that one. But again, we still should be defending it better.
Yeah, there's so many passages of play after that should, where the goal should have been cut out. Here's the problem. Fifth is a good finish. This squad clearly isn't ready for UCL. The thing is, this squad as it is today, it's not ready for UCL. I admit. However, that may not have been the case come summer. This is a blessing. See, I disagree with that. If we weren't competing with Spurs for fourth, the frustration and anger will be lesser. Yeah, true. I agree with that. However, right now, I agree. We're not ready for Champions League. The squad isn't ready. But the thing is, though, who's to say with the good signings and stuff? Listen, man, there might have been some of the signings in there that will only come if we're in Champions League.
Yeah, that's it. Tielemans now might be. If he was the main one, he might now be looking the
same. I'd even have a Dybala as well.
Yeah, I heard Dybala was looking to come as well, potentially.
Yeah, it does make a difference. That Champions League football would make a big difference to some of the players we might attract. However, again, there is still players out there who are good quality who aren't, do you know what I mean, necessarily at the bigger clubs. I think recruitment is important. Again, you're looking at gems like a St. Maxim. Then there's gems out there, and we seem to not get them. And this is my frustration. Or even try and pluck them when they're available. So, like
I've got a question for both of you guys. If Arteta finishes again outside the top four, say fifth or sixth, would you be saying again?
Say that again, sorry?
If he finishes out the top 4, say if he's had kind of similar money to spend this summer, say 100 plus, which is, I still think that's significant, and he finishes outside the top 4, say a 5th or 6th, similar points, similar games lost. What are you saying? Are you saying?
I think for me now, he's got to get. I think for me next season, it's got to be top 4.
The only thing I would say, again, depending on what's around, what other teams have done around. So just say top 4, Tottenham get 70 points this year. If Arsenal get 78 next season but end up 5th, I could say fair enough, because the top 4 above you are miles ahead. So again, you have to look at it objectively, because if Tottenham have a great season, and just say 4 of them push for the league title, to say, actually, do not take Tottenham. Say United, Chelsea, City, and Liverpool go clear, and 75, 80 points. Do you know what I mean? Like 10 points ahead of what you're going. You have to look at objectively. Again, if they all spend bigger in the summer, Arteta's can only work with what he's got. However, if we end up in a similar position on a similar amount of points, everything almost mirroring this season, then yeah, it'd be time for him to go. But again, it depends how you measure progress, isn't it? Because if everyone spends 150, but we're already how many players behind the other teams, I can't be mad at him if he ends up 5th again. Because if just say Tottenham don't sell Kane, Son, them lot are still there, and then they put another 150 into their team's already better than ours. So it's very difficult.
That's 500. You're looking about 500 plus million in the last 3 seasons.
Yeah, but we're far behind. We were so far behind.
Yeah, that's but I mean, if you look at that much outlay, I mean,
yeah, but again, I can't say what other teams have been spending, but the other teams might have spent 3 years before that and being in a better. Because now Chelsea only needs to top up. Do you know what I mean? Liverpool only needs to top up, so they might need to spend 50 mil again this year, but they're already light years ahead. So again, we only spent what I think 10 million more than Tottenham in pre-season in the summer, and they went and brought in January. So again, we're already playing catch up, and these teams are still making the same amount of moves we're making. Do you know what I mean? I think Tottenham's spending will go past us if Kulusevski and Bentancur stay on a permanent. They would have spent about 170 this year, and we spent 150. So again, with a team that's already better than ours, like don't get me wrong, this was the year he should have made it, really and honestly, because like you said, United had a bad season. If they come back strong next year, now all of a sudden, rather than 5 teams going for 4 places, you've now got 6 teams. Do you know what I mean? So it's difficult, but I do want to see just more attacking intent from this team. Like I want to see us put teams to bed. I don't remember the last time we slapped teams like 4 or 5 nils, or we don't score enough, and that's my biggest issue with this team at the moment. Like, and when you're not scoring, it's now a lot more pressure on the defense, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Because we have to keep a clean sheet to win a game, which isn't always doable.
Apparently, what's Xhaka saying? Let us know, man. What's he saying? What's his rant about?
He's another one. He needs to come out my club anyway now. I'm done with him, man. The man's talking, and since he's been here, we haven't made top 4, and he's been here, 6 seasons now? Like, he needs to come out, man. Again, I'm watching him today. As I said, he's a leader when we're winning. When we're losing or chips are against us, he's not a leader. Like, I'm done with him, man. I've been done with him for years, to be fair. My guy, Diablo Davis, Big Lawrence is here. He's coming for me on the last day. He's talking like his team done something half decent this year. He's a United fan, by the way.
Wait 1 second. No. Time.
Get him, Callum.
All the United fans, right? All them, they can't talk to us. Full stop. Hard. They can't talk to us. With the budget and the resources that they have, they've been absolutely piss poor. And they're starting talking. Listen, they're the worst. They're almost as bad as Tottenham. Flipping heck.
For real.
You know what I mean?
Spurs killed us, let's be real. We never shook that defeat off. We were struggling next season. United would be better, Spurs would be better. Potentially. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with that clubs.
Yeah.
Champions League should be bare minimum. If you've got 7 seasons at top 4, then we are finished. Yeah, we should be looking for it, but in realistic terms, it really depends what we do. Like, I really do. I said, these players are shown. I know we have new players in, and we have improved, but again, we still need more.
The thing is, at the same time, I don't know if the board will sack him. He signed a new contract. They decided to give him the new contract before the end of the season.
Hey, wait a minute. Before you get onto that, it seems like that he's out in the squad.
Everyone else but himself.
Well, maybe, but he's saying that the players weren't ready.
After Arteta,
he said we didn't listen to the. He's saying we.
Yeah.
We didn't listen to the coach, to the game plan. So there's obviously something there that there was a plan in place, but it wasn't executed.
Yeah.
Listen, Xhaka is Arteta's puppet anyway, so he's going to say what Arteta is going to say as well.
But one thing I will say about that game is you can't, like, if the system's wrong, the system's wrong. If the players are just having a stinker, you can't always blame that on the system. They just had a stinker today, and I've seen that all too often this season, to be fair, where they just, it's the lack of energy in it. I know you've been saying that all stream, Lex. It's the lack of energy and fight, and yes, it's not going your way, but just be get about, get in their face, win some tackles, make it hard for them.
There was times where I'm sure it was like Odegaard, where the ball was literally equal distance between him and the Newcastle player,
and he pulled out of it.
He pulled out.
Yeah, that wound me right up.
Before he even get to the ball,
yeah.
He pulled out. He's like,
he was favourite to get that ball.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not gonna touch it.
Yeah. Man, break your leg.
and the thing is, I look at that and like, I'm just thinking, what the? I don't understand. You're the captain. You are the captain. Yeah. And if you can't even go into that tackle like that, we've got no chance.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. Yes, and I know that point where he did that. That peed me off, and that shows actually they're the kind of it was 60-40 in his favour.
That's what I'm saying. He didn't even
and he lost out.
He didn't even attempt.
Yeah.
And there was a thing that kind of said as well just before the match started when we were on for the pre-match. We're literally a carbon copy of a young squad. Things like what Xhaka just said now, not following game plan, us not, putting our weight about. It's literally a carbon copy of a young squad.
Yeah.
Do you think the Tottenham thing impacts that? So we got too highly strong in the Tottenham game, and not every player, but do you think it was a case of we tried that way and it didn't work?
I don't know what's gone on, but today was a day for us to kind of show, and they've just had a rabbit in headlights moment today.
But you know what? I've got a funny feeling they don't have that much fear in them to fail. So because I'm looking at it, it comes from the board, right? And it filters down to the manager. And I genuinely think that Arteta is obviously he's trying. He wants to get into the top 4. But the fear has to come from somewhere into these players. And I know these are young players, but at the same time, if you've got that fear that you want to, that there's going to be repercussions, you're going to put your line, you know what I mean? You're going to put everything on that pitch, regardless if flicks are not working out. All I wanted to see was you just putting in everything that you had, you had.
And I think a lot of that comes from the players on the pitch. I know football's changed a lot from when we were younger watching it, but again, I loved when Henry speaks about Lehmann, and he said if you made a mistake in that first half,
he'd let you know.
And he said if the goal went in, he said if I weren't marking on a corner or something and the goal went in, he goes, I think shit. And he said all of a sudden, halftime whistle blows. He said you look round. If he said Lehmann's running to the change room, he said you don't want to walk in there. He said if you saw Lehmann running to the changing room, you don't want to walk in. He said because Lehmann's gonna have you and he's gonna pin you up and he's gonna let you have it. And I know football's changed. I don't think there's many characters like those big characters back in the day. Again, you see at the end of the match, the players will talk to opposition players behind their hand, doing all this. Like, do you know what I mean? Whereas when we were younger, Arsenal lose a game, them lot have gone down the tunnel ready to fight each other, whatever it was. So the game has changed, but I do feel on the pitch there needs to be more leadership. I can see the players doing bits, but it just lacks. We lack something when the games. Again, that statistic came up when we've gone behind in away games. We've played 6, we lost 6. We got no, and again, this is
Just
also
high.
maybe the plan B. This is why we were saying about a Calvert-Lewin, and he's not ideally what you want, but it gives you an option. Like someone like Giroud in them situations there is quite handy because it just gets something half decent in the box, and if he even don't score it, he might win a flick on or head the ball down, which might create some havoc, and then someone else can nick something. It's
Just
like
a bit of fight.
we haven't got just that something different just to offer. If it's not going our way, plan A, then there's nothing else. You know, subs are coming on and making no impact really. Martinelli made a bit of an impact getting down the wing, but didn't create anything really, and honestly of note. Do you know what I mean? Like, kind of got you on the edge of your seat a little bit to think, oh, was he going to beat him? But apart from that, we didn't create anything. Like, so I think there's a lack of a plan B is maybe what's killing us at the moment. Do you know what I mean? It's again, you bringing on a 6'4" striker, just get some crosses in the box at least, isn't it? Yeah. Just if they're banking in, let's work the ball wide and cross. Like, but right, let me just run through the last couple of comments. DWTT's here. Hope you're keeping well, DWTT. Not the way we wanted this to end, but we still showed up. Lex, I rate you. Canners, I rate you. The rest of you, man, on the armory, you done the right thing, boy. Lads were scared from the off. Newcastle were up for the game today. They looked stronger. Won first and second duels. It looked like Newcastle were going for Champions League. Yeah. He said Arteta doesn't seem like he spreads fear into the players. He just falls out with a few of them. I'm not going to go back on that. Ramsdale's been very shaky with distribution. He made a couple of good saves, but he's not been informed. Yeah, I agree with that. I think his kicking today was his worst I've seen of it. And again, that sets you on the back foot straight away as well, don't you?
You see the one where he flapped? He went through him.
Yeah, but I don't know. Anyway, one more game left of the season. Everton. Let's might as well just relegate them, and that'll just give me a little bit of cheer.
Yeah.
However, I don't mind if Leeds go if we can get Rafinha, but it looks like he's Barcelona bound, so yeah, maybe that dream's gone. But lads, thank you for this evening. Appreciate you jumping on. It's kind of a sad end to this season, but you never know. I might still put a little £5 cheeky bet on Arsenal to get top 4 and Tottenham to throw it away. You never know.
Anyone know the Norwich dinner lady?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Give us some Lasagna Gate Part 2, boy.
Need
Lasagna Gate Part 2, but yeah, man. But yeah, on that note, guys, we're out here. Thank you for tuning. Make sure you're liking, subscribing. Appreciate the comments. And Arsenal, you killed me, man. You killed us.
Yeah.